Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to be doing a Ragnarok 5 with Thyra. She did get buffed, but obviously this is the weekly update, so let's just talk about the update first before we get into the gameplay for Thyra. So first things first is Stormbringer's axe got a nerf. The nerf is to the damage upgrades of the axe. So when you are leveling the actual axe, the damage numbers itself are not going to increase as much as they would have previous patches. So I think that is necessary because Stormbringer's axe is the only relic in the game that can hit the same enemy multiple times. So it really did need a nerf because of that specific interaction. Otherwise they need to remove that interaction and have the axes only hit the enemy once like every other relic in the game. Okay, next, Thyra's poison bomb. The number of projectiles got increased, and the first ascension that made the area increase over time got a buff where it increases over time faster. So the increase is now faster than what it was before, so that's really fantastic. Her focus relic got not buffed but corrected in some way, that it is actually working now correctly where it wasn't before. Alright, so this is the focus, so now it does affect your actual character, where apparently before it didn't affect the character, but now it does. Thunder Codex got a cooldown reduction. Then Book of Stars, where is Book of Stars? Over here, got a cooldown reduction as well as an attack speed increase, so its cooldown is now lower and its attack speed is now higher. And then the Tarot deck got a increase in cooldown reduction, as well as the animation for the books is now faster, so it should feel slightly better. Now Talkor, he also got an update to his constellation. He landed up getting 2 new traits or relics. This is the infinite bag, where your pockets have no bottom but the coins only last 1 second on the ground. That 1 second is in green because it is affected by duration, so the more duration you get, the longer that they will be on the floor for. And he got Master Gold Potion, where all potions dropped by enemies or crates will turn into gold potions. Now please do be careful with his constellation. If you go straight to Ascension, not Ascension, Attraction and XP, and you take both of these new relics, you will not be able to get the rest of his tree. So you do have to fill around with the tree a little bit before you're able to get both of them if you want. Otherwise, do just take the one and the rest of his tree. The other upgrades that they have done is that they have made it that now when you find relics in the actual wild, in shrines and things like that, there is going to be a higher chance of finding relics that are appropriate for the current player that you have, or the character that you have. So if you are playing with Thyra, there is a higher chance of finding the poison relics than there are of finding, let's say, fire relics and so on and so forth. But again, there are always going to be the common relics, and you are always going to have a normal chance of finding, let's say, life relics on Talkor still. So just keep that in mind. They have increased the odds of getting relics specific to characters, but there are still very high odds of getting normal relics on them anyway. Alright, so next they changed the tree a little bit. They added new shrines to the structures because people felt that having just one extra ascension, wasn't really enough. So now that they've done it, they've made it so, well, they've actually changed shrines, but we'll get into that in the run. But now you can gain an extra common shrine in the beginning of a round. You get epic shrines at the end of the second boss, and an extra rare shrine at the end of the first boss, with a whole 25% chance of when you complete a shrine, it reactivates and you get something brand new out of it. They also changed the healing side tree, where it says you come back to life after dying, and instead of just having a single revive, it gives you a total of 3. So very good. But let's get into our gameplay with Thyra. We are using Uncanny Bow and Poison Bomb. and we're going to be doing a Ragnarok 5 run. Now we are using the limit breaker tree node. I did show my tree currently, which actually, before we get into the run, one more thing that they did add is we now have slots. So you can save different slots, up to 5 for each character if you wanted. So I've got my Talkor tree over here with 5 points still sitting there, and I've got my Thyra tree currently that I'm using for her, and we've got 4 points in limit break, very important. A little bit of poison damage, which we will increase once we get more leaves. That's what I will be working on. Projectile over here, limit break, and then we've got 5 in damage and 5 in cooldown. Okay, on to Thyra. Alright, so as you can see now, we've only got 4 shrines in the actual game. Limit break allows us to get 3 upgrades, very, very strong. We are going to work on damage, and then everything else doesn't really matter as long as we do get damage. In this case, we got legendary projectiles. I'm not going to re-roll it because, you know, that is a 5% chance of getting that upgrade, and because of that, we are going to take it as is. You know, just more projectiles means more damage, so we're happy to take it regardless. So we're going to move to our ascension, and we're going to have a look at the shrines. I did post a suggestion or two about them because when you find the epic and the rare shrines, there are higher costs to them now, and some of the relics in those shrines really feel bad. So hopefully we get one of those examples now so I can show you guys exactly what it is that we're talking about and what it is that's going to make, you know, those shrines feel like it was it just feel really bad to pick up as a person playing the game. So we've already got our shrine over here. As you can see, we got a health relic, which obviously Thyra needs, and here we have a poison mushroom which she uses because of poison, so really good for her. We will be doing a tier list for the characters, guys. Eventually, it will be sometime next week. The tier list, the way it's going to work is we're going to be doing a tier per character. So we're going to be doing a list per character with each of the relics, and how each relic is either going to be an S tier on that character or just don't bother picking it up on the character. That's the only way it's going to work, guys. There isn't going to be a, oh, this is you know, half decent or half bad. It's either good or it's bad on the character. There's no in-betweens. The only ones that are in between is if you, okay, well actually that's not true. It is circumstantial. It is extremely circumstantial, and it all depends on the relics that you get. So it's going to be a very unique video, very weird video, but you know, again, it's going to be what's very strong as a relic on that character and what's very bad and what you need to skip. And a good example would be grabbing the effective probability tonic on Thyra. It really isn't that necessary on her, and I feel like that would be a waste of especially if you have to pay money for it, or you know, a lot of gold or whatever the case may be. I feel like that is really bad on Thyra. Unfortunately, we did not level up anything just yet. We've got a we want damage again, so please come on, damage anytime soon today. There we go. Some damage cooldown, and then we want legendary damage, so we're gonna have to just reroll until we get it. So we're not trying to do any speed runs here with Thyra, so we aren't really worried about having to reroll. That's fine. Another thing about her is she doesn't get any extra XP or attraction from her tree. So if you do want to manipulate your actual Yggdrasil tree, I mean from her constellation, she doesn't get attraction or XP like Talkor does. So if you want to manipulate your tree so that you do get more XP or more attraction from there, then you can do that with pleasure. You maybe don't need the full cooldown or the full damage. So as we said, it's still going to be common to get random relics. This is one of them. Obviously electric relics don't work on Thyra. This would be one of the useless relics on her. So, you know, you don't really have to waste your 15 seconds of grueling trying to survive a horde of monsters to get that if you don't want to. I just grab it because I can. but you don't need it. Those are one of the relics that you're never going to use on Thyra. I don't even think, by the end of the game, enemies won't even be close enough to you for this relic to even do anything. So it really is a waste of time. Oh man, a triple legendary, but there's no damage, and oh, we got it again. That is 5% luck right there, everyone. 5% luck to get that upgrade. So we're gonna grab all the chests because we still want the crit chance. We still want damage and crit chance. Obviously the damage is going to increase the damage of our ascensions as well, so we do want to grab as much damage as possible on the bow from chests or other things like that. It will also, if we get percentage damage from the chests, we're going to go for those. We have more than enough projectiles now on the bow, so we don't have to worry too much about getting more projectiles or anything like that. The only other thing I would say get would be grab yourself the crit. So crit and damage are the most important things on Thyra. Otherwise cooldown, even area of effect works on her ulti as well as on her bow's second ascension, the final shot. So if you did want to get some area of effect, that's where it does help. Alright, there is a little bit of a bug going on currently with the artifacts. They have been working quite hard, the devs, to try and sort out these bugs, sort out the bug that these certain things are causing. Who knows what it is, but every time there's an upgrade to the artifacts and things like that, there seems to be a bug pertaining to them as well. So, you know, they just got to iron those little bits of bugs out, but they do that every day. They work really, really hard, and there have been hot fixes to sort these things out as well. Talking about artifacts, they did increase the effective probability of the new card artifacts. They were 50% probability, they are now at 75 probability, as well as the possibility of them being changed or upgraded, or not upgraded, being stronger in the future when the new map is released. It was mentioned in the patch notes, so you can just go take a look at them if you want to read more about that as well. But TLDR, there is going to be a change to them in the future when the new map is released. Alright, we do have a shrine here. You know, the 1 damage to lose a full heart really isn't worth it. So we're not going to worry too much about that. We are now currently just getting as much XP as possible. Getting a magnet ring here would be very, very good. Not necessary, but really, really good. Just going to help us get all of the XP that we're missing all over the floor. So if we could get one, that would be fantastic. If we can't, it's not the end of the world. Okay, I don't think... we'll just grab the chest. Not that we're trying to speedrun or anything like that. And there's some more crits, so grabbing that chest was worth it. And now we're just going to keep going. And let's go. So the buffs to the poison bomb, we are going to see that they actually are very, very strong now. Now, for some reason, even though it is called poison bomb, the actual physical damage that the skill does is insane. Or I'll say physical damage, but the actual damage, the impact damage of the bombs is actually higher than the poison damage that they cause. So we'll show you how I know that at the end, or maybe the stat screen needs to be updated, because from what I read and understand it, the impact damage of the poison bombs are doing more damage than the poison from them, if that makes any sense at all. It should, because they do have an impact damage, and that does, you know, when they land on something, that deals damage. Unfortunately, no magnets. 75 gold to spend in the shop, not bad. It's not 99. Well, we actually got 80 gold now to spend in the shop. And as you can see, they really got to maybe change that as well, so you can't get hit from that if the boss is dead. But anyway, get poison projectiles, very good on Thyra. mead for more life. We don't need electric. Get miscellaneous. We're going to pick up the mirror here so we can spend more gold in the shop. It doesn't really affect unless we landed up getting greed now, then that would be really bad, but it will be fine. So these poison to lightning charms are what make relics very difficult to clear, because if you grab this, which we do, now every single thunder relic or lightning relic became S tier on Thyra. So you know, you're either going to have the relic being a no-go, or in this case now it becomes a great S tier relic. So now this thunder relic around us has become an S tier, or in this case, because it's a melee range, it's not actually S tier at all, but you understand the whole concept. The fact that we picked up one relic that isn't necessarily going to get picked up every game has now changed the whole dynamic of the tier list. So making a tier list in the game is going to be extremely difficult, and it's going to be a very big roller coaster ride. And while we're on that note, what they've changed with regards to the relics in the game, the shrines, sorry, not the relics, is now you can see we actually have 2 more shrines on the map that we never got before. So after you finish the first boss, after you've killed the Scavenger King, you now get new relics. These ones should be more rare, hopefully stronger relics. So let's go take a look at them. If they tonics, I'm going to do my nuts, because tonics are rare relics. But you're going to see that it's going to cost us 7 points. Okay, that's for a twin blade. That's actually very well worth it. 7 points is a bit steep, because you land up taking double the amount of damage, which isn't very nice over there. We are going for poison, not for the focus. And then we're going to go for our actual poison bomb. Again, it has been buffed projectile wise. As you can see, we got 4 projectiles there instead of 2. Damage, very, very nice over there. Area and duration increases. That's fantastic. More damage, area and duration. Damage, area and duration. I would like to get a legendary projectile upgrade if possible, or have more projectile upgrades. And we are picking up a lot of magnet rings. So that's cool, but we didn't really have a lot to pick up in that case. Alright, dodging all the orbs. Okay, let's go see what this gold shrine has for us. I forgot we needed to ascend our uncanny bow to final shot. So final shot, if you did get a lot of area of effect, it lands up being a lot bigger. So here's an example. For 15 gold, we could pick up the attack damage relic. Now in this case, yes, it's worth it. 20% damage is quite big, but sometimes for 15 gold, having a reduced stat in something else. So let's see what it gave us. It gave us, I can't even see what the negative was there, unfortunately. The color was just really bad. Anyways, it removed one of our stats. 20% damage though is very, very good on Thyra. So in this case, that relic was worth it. But sometimes you'll end up getting effective probability there for 15 gold. It's really not good on Thyra. Maybe for the poison, but the poison really doesn't do that much damage compared to the actual direct damage or on-hit damage that you do with the poison bomb or her uncanny bow. So you don't really need effective probability on her. The only person I would think that it's very, very important on is Halfgrim, and that is because of his constellation traits that, you know, if you paralyze enemies, you deal more damage to them. So then you do want increased effective probability on him compared to other characters that you don't actually need it at all. So I don't know, just personal things going around there with how things should go. And we're not going to get more projectiles, unfortunately, because we did just get a legendary area, duration, and damage. So I won't reroll more than that, and hopefully we'll be able to get the 7 points as well for the twin blade eventually. I think we've got enough life for it, but the poison bomb will take preference over the twin blade right now. So we do have more magnets, and we are going to pick up more gold as well, and we'll just go from there. So our relics this run have been pretty good with the RNG wise. Not like some people on the Discord have been saying, you know, when they play Talkor, they actually ended up getting 3 or 4 health relics from shrines. So like I said in the beginning, the relics are still going to be very common, but there is an increased chance of getting those that are suited for your character. It's very difficult, especially with Talkor, because he only has one skill or constellation that turns him into a pyromaniac, and that's glowing coin. If you don't get glowing coin, then the only good relics for him are the boss relic weapons, like your Mani's bow, Astrid's orb, Brock's bazooka, and things like that. Because otherwise he has no other way of, you know, using poison, burn, or paralysis or anything like that if it isn't through one of the other weapon relics or his constellation glowing coin. So unless you go glowing coin, you'll see yourself seeing a lot of fire relics on Talkor, and you're not going to have the choice of using them really to the maximum, you know, output unless you go glowing coin or find Brock's bazooka. Okay, we're just going to use the gold coin one there. Not that there was much gold coin everywhere anyway, but there we go. We can now go poison damage maxed over here, and we'll start working on all of our other stats that are all over the place. So 7 skill points. Oh, it's so hefty though. But it gets worse. It gets even higher than 7 skill points later on. The shrines for epic shrines become 15 skill points if you get an epic relic in there. So something like RNG tonic or a boss weapon or something like that is 15 skill points. That's huge. So it really has to be a relic like Greed or Mirror that really has to be like a game changer to really be worth it. What is good about this relic system is it actually makes it so you are not grabbing every single relic all willy-nilly. The only one who can really do that will be Talkor now with his ultimate. But otherwise, you know, all the other characters, you're going to have to think about which relics to now go for and whether or not it is actually worth picking them up or not. So there we got a bit of negative attack speed from that. That's okay though. We don't need those. I'm not taking the negative movement speed. I just went and got a double over there. We don't need Astrid's orb for 15 gold here. We can... Oh, do we grab a Marty bow? What do we have? No, we're not going to grab that. Maybe we can pick up something better. An infection, and it gives us plus 10. And another magnet artifact over there. So we got 29 points over here. Let's go and spend them. We're going to take the area expansion because we have quite a lot of poison damage already, so we don't need more. And we're just going to take the damage and attack speed, and then we'll get to our cooldown. We're not going to need our ulti, unfortunately. We are going to probably kill Ragnar before we can even look at him properly. She just deals so much more damage than she used to now with Limit Break, as well as the upgrade to her poison bomb. So you'll see now, usually this round felt very restricting, but with the changes now, she is quite happily able to just move around and be very free during this round. Normally wave 4 was very, very oppressive for Thyra, and I couldn't really find a way to move as much as we were here. So, you know, I thought, well, let's take focus since we couldn't move so much anyway, and we took the daggers hoping that it would work a lot better, but unfortunately it never. The poison bomb was the right way to go with this. So here's one of the new shrines. Again, this is a 15 shrine, and as you can see, you're getting one of the fire to ice charms. Is it worth it on Thyra? Definitely not. Not for 15 points. It never will be, because she doesn't burn or freeze enemies. So, you know, you can save your 15 points there. You're not going to just randomly take it. Now, they also upgraded the fire projectile artifact, this one over here. It used to just shoot one lot of projectiles. So now it shoots multiple waves of them. I think that is so cool. It shoots, I think, like 10 or so waves. A really, really, really good change there, especially if you're playing on Talkor or Halfgrim and you have invested into fire. A really, really cool artifact. A really, really nice upgrade or change to it as well. So fantastic job done there by the devs on that artifact change and upgrade. Oh, we accidentally walked into that. I didn't even see it. We'll grab some more movement speed. We got quite a lot of walking to do. Look like there's only one epic shrine that you get. Again, if you did invest into the shrine nodes in structure in the tree, you would obviously have more shrines as well as chances to get more upgrades from them and things like that. So, you know, it might be worth getting, but I don't know. I haven't really tried that route quite yet. Alright, I think just before we fight Ragnar, we'll pick up Twin Blade. I think it will have quite a good outcome on Thyra, especially with the build that we are currently running on her. It would have been so much nicer if we were lucky on the amount of projectiles on Poison Bomb. As you can see, there is a lot of poison all over the place, so getting that, you know, more projectiles on it would have been really, really nice. Maybe these chests can give us more projectiles, but in this case it's they're giving us just overall stats, which is really, really good as well, but not quite what we wanted, unfortunately. There is more chests all over the floor here, so we can go grab some of them, give us what we want. And we got a cooldown reduction on it. We'll take that. Cooldown reduction is very good. You know, you can have so many projectiles up, so once they're all down and you throw them all again, that's the same thing as having more projectiles anyway, especially since it has a flat duration amount anyway. So by the time you throw more of them, the duration, it kind of feels like you've had more than 4 projectiles on the floor anyway. I mean, you can see all the poison all over the place. There's another chest over here. And we're nearly there. We've nearly got all of this. So we are going to take our Twin Blade over here. Fantastic. 25 to 35% increased damage over there. We could go and spend the 90 gold that we have as well on all of the runes. It isn't necessary, but you know, for the sake of the video, we will be doing it. You can probably kill Ragnar without all of it, but why not buff ourselves up since we have the gold and we don't have greed anyway, so let's use all the gold. If you had greed, obviously, then you wouldn't waste the gold on the rune shop. But because we don't have greed, we're gonna go wild and spend it all. Okay, magnet up all the XP. We are going to level our ulti up to max. Unfortunately, there is no crit there, which is really, really sad. And we can re-roll twice, and we'll just take whatever we are given. And now we can just go like that. We're not going to take the chests, just ruins. And we'll move on from there. We are getting a lot of movement speed here, so that's quite insane. Again, you don't have to do this. We just have the money to spend, and I feel like wasting a bit of time picking up all these options. If you were doing it, you could probably just finish the run with just running straight past the rune shop. There are other probable things, you know, if you got like a rare 25 gold rune that gave you damage or something, that's definitely worth it. But there we go, he's already phased. Yeah, hard boss. As you can see, we are critting for 700 damage on our final shot as well. Oops, I accidentally stood still while waiting for the projectiles to, you know, go past me, and we land up taking damage over there. And as you can see, because we have Twin Blade, we land up taking a lot of damage there. So we do have to be careful not to get hit by anything. But as you can see, he really isn't any issue, and all of his you know, these common enemy spawns that happen during the boss fight are really no problem. You can see they're dying all over the place because I've got all these poison orbs happening everywhere. So as he does that scream, we can ulti, and there we go, done and dusted. Again, it took us a lot longer because we spent a lot of time everywhere, but as you can see, Poison Bomb actually had a higher DPS than our Uncanny Bow, sitting at 5.5k damage. And like I said, its damage was 3.3 million, but only 1 million poison damage. So its actual impact damage is a lot higher than the poison damage that it deals. So really fantastic changes to Thyra. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.